Alright, so quickly we're going to learn how to cut doctor's word coat. Alright, word coat. So without wasting time, these are the measurements we're going to use. We're using a shoulder measurement of 16, chest measurement of 38. The sleeve length is 22, sleeve round is 10, and the full length we're going to be using is 33. Okay. So without wasting time, let's quickly start. So for us to do this, first you fold your fabric into two. You can see I've folded this fabric into two. All right. I use a pin to hold the edges together. A pin to hold the edges together so I don't scatter. Then the next thing I did is that I folded it by what? By 5 inches, 5.5 inches. This 5.5 inches folding is to provide a button allowance for me. All right. To provide a button allowance for me, and also to provide allowance for the what? Camp collar. All right. The camp collar, I need allowance there so that when I turn it like this edges won't show. That's why I'm using altogether 5.5 inches wide. I'm going to do this and stitch it all together now, right? So just stay with me. If you're lost as we progress into the video, you understand better. So the first thing I'm going to do after folding this by 5.5 inches, the next thing we're going to do is to take our measurement, to apply a measurement. And we're going to start with the what? The shoulder measurement, okay? But before that, if you measure shoulder measurement, which is 16 divided by 2, you are having what? You are having 8, all right? So this is 8, okay? But because of seam allowance, I'm going to use 8.5, all right? 8.5. This is my 8.5, okay? This is 8.5. So the next thing I'm going to do, in fact, let us get the front block, all right? And we'll use it together with the back block to cut it so that it will be a lot easier for us and simpler for you. So for us to get our front block, we are going to check the chest measurement is 38. Divide 38 by 4, you should be having 9.5. If you divide 38 by 4, all right, you should be having 9.5. We'll do that. Let's just confirm it. So it's 9.5. So it means you are going to cut our front block 9.5. We'll add 1.5 inch allowance is okay, all right? So this 1.5 inch allowance. So I'm going to add 1.5 inch to it. That gives us what? That gives us 11. So this 11 right here. So I'm going to mark this 11 at 2 places so as to get a straight line when we join both points together. The next thing is to what? Consider the length of the word coat. The length of the word coat is 33. So I'm going to cut it at what? 35, just to provide adequate allowances. So this is 35. So let's join the points together. Mind you, I said we are going to first of all get the front block. So what we are doing here, we are simply getting our front block so that we will now use it together with the back block to cut our word coat. Right? Hope you can see these lines clearly. The next thing for us to do is to slant the shoulder. And for word coat, we just slant this shoulder here by 3 inches is fine. Okay, we'll slant the shoulder by 3 inches. So we'll join this back to the neck point here. Alright, so at this point, this is our front block. We're going to remove it and use it to get the back block, and then we will apply our measurements. Alright, so this is our front block. Let's use it to get the back block. Alright, so now for us to get our back block, you can see I folded this fabric and gave allowance of up to 2 inches here. 2 inches is fine, because this will serve as the opening behind. You know, there's an opening behind the coat. There's an opening there. So this will serve as the allowance for the opening. So it's okay. So let's go ahead and apply. Let's go ahead and slant the shoulder. This is very simple, guys. Just follow what I'm doing. Even if I'm not talking, you can easily get this. It's very simple. So I'm going to push this now down and leave allowance of up to 4 inches up there. All right. Push it down this way. This should be up to 4 inches. All right, this is exactly 4 inches. And then I'm going to fold this into the front, okay, like this. Actually, it's a bit the same with how you cut your vintage shirt. The difference is just the allowance at the back here for the opening, okay, for the vent, for the back vent. It's a back vent. The difference is just that allowance for the back vent. All right. So the next thing for us to do is to apply our measurements. And what are the measurements? We said our shoulder is a shoulder of 16. If we divide 16 by 2, we are going to have 8. All right. So this is from here. Our measurements are beginning from here. 16 by 2 is 8. So this is 8. All right. 8 right here. Plus half inch seam allowance. Okay. Becomes 8.5. And how are we going to get our arm? Our arm is simply shoulder measurement minus 1 divided by 2. All right. So if you, or let's use this let's use another simple formula. It's simply shoulder measurement divided by what? 2. If you divide 16 by 2, you have what? You will have 8. So this is 8, okay? But you will not use this whole 8, all right? You will minus 1.5 inch from this 8 for fitted dresses. But since this is a word coat, it's not fitted, we'll minus only 1 inch from it. So we'll minus only 1 inch, all right? I have videos on how to get perfect arm curve on my channel. If you are lost, please watch them and you'll not have any issue with that. So our shoulder is what? How to get our arm is shoulder measurement divided by 2, all right? And we divided our shoulder measurement, which is 16 by 2, we have 8. But like I said, we'll not use the whole 8 here. We'll minus 1 inch from it. That becomes 7. So we use our 7. So the next thing we're going to check is our chest. And the chest we said is 38 divided by 4. That is 9.5. So this is 9.5. I'm going to add 1 inch seam allowance, all right? That becomes 10.5, all right? 10.5. Now, how are we going to cover our arm? This 9.5 we have here, this 8.5 we have here, we'll extend it down here. This is 8.5, all right? We'll use this French curve to join these 2 points together. Join these 2 points together, all right? The next thing for us to do, this is it. We'll come to 2 inches here, 2 inches up here. We'll mark 2 inches up here, all right? And since it's a word coat, you can just come in by 3/4, so that the shoulder, the arm shouldn't be too deep, and we'll curve this, all right? Curve this like this. Curve it this way back to the shoulder. If it were a fitted dress, okay, we can come in here by 1 inch, all right? But this is a word coat, it's not a fitted stuff. You are going to wear something inside before wearing this, so it should be a bit free, all right? Hope you understand. So the next thing for us to do is to, we have 10.5 here, just to extend our 10.5 down, all right? Down to the end, all right? Now let me show us why I didn't use that 8 complete. Remember I said shoulder divided by 2, we give you 8. I didn't use the 8 complete, I used 7. Why? Because this is my arm here. By the time I curve this arm, it will be giving me 9.25. Can you see this? So if I had used the whole 8, by the time I curve this arm, I'll be getting something 10 plus. That will be too wide. That's why you minus 1 inch at least from the shoulder measurement after dividing by 2. Hope that is taken. So we'll cut it. All right, and we'll cut it. It's just like 1/2 inch allowance here, from here to the end. And guys, when you are making a word coat, it's actually a free dress. Okay? It's a free something. You don't use the exact measurement of the customer. It's a free stuff. All right, it's supposed to be free to the body because it's something you wear after you have done your normal dressing. So next we are going to cut the back. I'm going to show us how to cut the back and give the vent. All right, so this is the vent. So now how do you locate where to get the vent? Okay, the vent is actually supposed to be somewhere at the back here. All right, so you simply measure from the beginning, from the shoulder point here, from the back, that is at the neck area. You measure down to somewhere around 22 inches. Okay, so your vent should be from 22 inches here down. All right, so this is our vent from 22 inches. So I'm going to like mark this like this. All right, so from the beginning here, I'll cut it on the 1/2 inch allowance. Getting here, I will give this allowance for the vent. So I'm going to cut it this way. All right. So I'm going to just stop around here. All right. So this is the vent. All right. So I can simply open it. Not supposed to be closed, it's supposed to be open. That's the vent, okay? And when you are putting the, if you see they say, when we are stitching, we're going to put a band at the back of the word coat. There's a band at the back. The band actually is located somewhere here at the beginning of the vent, all right? Yeah, that's where the band will be. You should know what I'm talking about. So the neck, simply, her neck is 16. So 16, when you are cutting your neck, when you are making a pattern, your neck measurement for the depth, you divide the neck measurement by 4. If you divide 16 by 4, you have 4, all right? And then for the wideness of the neck, you now divide whatever you have here, this 4 by 2. The formula is there. I have videos on how to get accurate neck measurement. You can check my channel if you are lost. But I said the formula for the neck, for the depth of the neck is what? The size of the neck divided by what? 4. So 16 by 4, you give you what? Give you 4. And then for the wideness of the neck, it is neck divided by what? 8. So 16 by 8 will give you 2. That's why we have 4 by 2 here. Hope that is taken. And we're not going to dip this at the back like a center stuff. It's going to be, yeah, but at the same time, let's know where the neck is. The allowance is, let's get this notch here. This shows us that this is where the neck is stopping. After the notch here as well, so as to get the right. So also notch here, so as to identify the midpoint. Because from here we're going to get our what? Our button allowance from here. So as you can see, we are done with the body of this and word code. The next thing we're going to do is to cut the sleeve, which is very, very simple and straightforward. All right. Now for us to get the sleeve is simply, the length of the sleeve is 22. All right. So since the length is 22, and our arm, we say the arm of this person, the arm of this customer, we said it is 8. That is divide shoulder by 2. So simply we'll add 1 inch to it, and that becomes 9. And then we'll cut our what? Our sleeve. So I'm folding this by 9 because the arm is 8. If you divide shoulder by 2, you have an arm of 8. So that 8, I'll add 1 inch to it, and that will guide me on how to fold the what? The fabric for the sleeve. So this is now what? 9, okay? The length of this sleeve is 22. This is 22. I'm going to add 3 inches to it to enable me for seam allowance and hemming allowance. That becomes 25. I'll extend this 25 this way. The wideness, the round of this sleeve is 10. So I'm going to use 6 here. 10 divided by 2 is 5. I'm going to use 6 here, okay? And from here, I'm going to come in by what? By 4.5 inches, so as to curve my sleeve, all right? I'm going to curve it this way. I also have a videos on this channel on how to get accurate sleeve curve. I won't be going into that now, so that will not take too much time. If you want to know how to get your accurate sleeve curve, please watch those videos. And I'm going to join this to this. Let me just use my French curve, all right? Even though we could still use our freehand, but let's just use our French curve. So I can get this like this. So I'm going to use the same pattern to cut the second sleeve. So I'll simply just use this first sleeve and produce the second sleeve without wasting time. Alright, so we are done with both sleeves, and then what I'm going to do simply is to fold the sleeves. Remember, we give allowance of 3 inches, so I'm going to use allowance of 2.5 inches down here to fold the sleeve. The other half inch we use it as seam allowance for the shoulder. So this is 2.5 inches here to fold the sleeve here. Actually fold it double. Do the same thing with the second sleeve. So now, how are we going to get our button allowance? Simply, these are the 2 pieces for the front, okay? Now I'm going to show us how we get our button allowance, all right? Now, this is a piece in front, okay? We're going to simply, let's come the area for the button first. The area for the button allowance first. So I'm using my soft gum. You can use your paper gum. You can use your sweet gum, A-stain, anything you want to use, you can use it. But I'm using the soft gum here, all right? First of all, gum this area. Um, those of you have InShot on your phone, InShot app on your phone. No, it is on your phone. It also needs my You have it, now use Starport. Not use it. I have it, but then you have to use it again. Since I'm used to InShot, that's like a waste of time to me. But since you have it now, you teach me to use it. Well, they say it has more functions, right? All right, so you can see this. I've hemmed this area here. I'm going to put it back the way it was. This is the way it was. All right. Mind you, what I'm showing you now, I want to show you how you can get your button allowance. All right. So simply, we are going to push this in allowance here. This 5.5 inches allowance. I'm going to push it out by half inch. Can you see this? I'm going to push it out by half inch. Let's turn this way so you can see. So this initially was where I folded my fabric. So I'm going to push it out. I'm going to put this inside allowance that was 5.5 inches. I'll bring it out by half inch. So this will now provide a button allowance for me. I've done several videos on vintage shirts and I've used the same formula. If you are lost, you can still check any of my vintage shirt. It's the same formula I use for getting button allowance. So you can see this. So that will now provide a button allowance for me. All right. So if you check this allowance here, that was 5.5 inches initially. It should be about, you can see it's 5 inches now, or a bit less than 5, because I've reduced much of the allowance forward to give me button allowance. Okay, so I'm going to trim off this excess here. All right, so these are the pockets we are going to use for the word coat. You can see this pocket. I folded them. Folding the pocket is easy. You can fold pockets. Wideness of 7. The length is 8. For this small one, wideness of 4. The length is 5. All right. So all this you can fold this on your own. The most important thing is knowing how to cut and those other stuff. So let's go to the machine and join it. You can see I'm done with these front pieces. You can see now I did the same thing. I did the 2 pieces. I'm done with them now. I told you I brought out half inch, pushed out half inch, pushed out half inch to get an overlapping for the button. So this was the notch we did before. You can see it here. This is the notch. The same thing here. So I shifted this allowance out by half inch, shifted it out by half inch on both sides, so as to have an overlapping here for our button. So you can see this. So we'll go to the machine, put the pockets. All right, join everything. Put the pocket there. Put the pocket here. We join everything, and this word coat is ready. All right. So let's go. All right. So this is the notch I made. This is the back piece of the notch I made to show us where we're going to start our sewing. So we'll start stitching from here. We're going to stitch like this. Turn it this way. Stitch here. The next thing we're going to do is to weave this space. Is to weave this area, and also weave this vent area. So after weaving it, you can see we have weaved it. We have weaved it. We have weaved this area as well. This vent. Just open it and match this allowance to one side, okay? So you can see what I'm doing clearly. Match the allowance to one side. You can see this how the length is going to be. When I get to the end point here, just watch closely. Alright. Get the end point here. Turn this way. And that is all. Alright. So for the for the band that is going to be at the back, like I said, the band will now be located somewhere here. All right. So let's put the band. All right. So I've made these two ropes to put at the back. These things are very simple that you can do by yourself. So I don't want to waste time take with covering it. So I made these two ropes to put at the back. Okay. You can simply cut a fabric that is 4 inches wide, sew it, and turn it over, and you get this rope. It's very simple to do. Okay. But this rope, I want it to overlap here at the middle here, each of them. So like I said, this is where we are going to put it at the towards the end of this vent here. All right, it's where the rope is going to be. So you can see each side is crossing up to about the center, up to about 5 inches. This down one too is crossing up to about 5 inches plus. All right, so this is it. Okay, so I'll just use a pin and pin it. At the end, we'll replace this pin with buttons. All right, replace the pin with buttons. So I'm simply going to stitch here, here, and here. So it's going to be here, and also stitch here. All right. So let's start with this side. The rope should be a bit free, okay? Don't make it too tight. Right. So from where the vent is stopping, I'll just mark 2 inches above it. All right, and that's where the rope will be. Just say 2.5 inches above where this vent is stopping. That's where the rope is going to be. All right. I'm simply going to stick the rope here, and the rope should be a bit free, okay? It shouldn't be tight, a bit free. All right. I'll stitch it this side and the other side as well. I'll go ahead and cut the excess. Yeah. So I'll stitch this second side as well. And I'll still cut off the excesses. You see this? So you can see I'm done with the back piece, alright? I'm done with the back piece. The next thing is for us to go ahead and join the back piece to the front piece. Alright? And how do we do that? We bring these are the front pieces. Okay. Bring them in. These are the front pieces. These are the front pieces. Alright, you bring them in. Bring them in this way. Alright. So I'm going to join. These are the two front pieces. So you can see the way I'm keeping them. This is the good side, alright? Facing the good side of the back. Good side facing the good side of the back, alright? So that I'll join this to this and this to this here. Hope it's clear and it's understood. So I will join it this way. I hope you can see everything clearly. Join it this way. So let's start. So I'll join this to this. I'm coming the second side. Alright, now so this is our I've arranged it properly for us to see. These are the pockets. I just ran a stitch on them to give it a little look, a fine look. Run a stitch on them. Run a stitch on the pockets. Alright. So this is the neck. Let's just trim this neck small. Okay, just small. I want to trim it just a little, not much. It's not a must, I just want to trim it small. Alright. Both sides. Alright. So the next thing for us to do is let's know how I'm going to fold this neck. I'm going to open it by a length of 6 inches, okay? From the beginning point here down to 6. I'll open it here this way. Okay. Like this. And I'll do the same thing both sides. 6 inches. And even this side I'll open it by what? By 6 inches. 6 inches, right? is how the cam collar is going to look like. And the depth of the cam collar right there. You can see that. So the next thing we are going to do now, without wasting time, let us quickly locate where the pocket will be. Okay. Now for this little pocket, chest pocket rather, the chest pocket is going to be at 8.5 inches. All right, from the shoulder 8.5 inches. Then sideways is going to be at 3 inches. Can you see? At 3 inches. Can you see that? Then for the big pocket, all right, they are going to sit. They are going to sit at 20 inches. Can you see? This is 20 inches from the shoulder. 20 inches. All right, and still from the center at what at 3 inches. At 2.5 inches. This is on 2.5 inches. Okay, 2.5 inches from the center. 2.5 inches from the center, and then 20 inches from the top. All right. So the same thing with this one, 20 inches from the top. This is a standard, okay, for average height. This one is a standard for average height. Then 2.5 inches by the side. 20 inches from the top. All right. That's it. All right. So I simply used my hemming gum and divided it to just hem the pocket by the side. All right. Just to put the hemming gum, I divided it, put by the side and hem the pocket so that it can be together in a steady position for me to be able to stitch it. All right. So that is that. I'll go back to the machine and we stitch the pocket. Then we'll come back, join the sleeves, and we are left to join the neck. All right. Let's go. Stitch the pocket. I'm going to stitch the pocket, all of them this way, all of them around the this way. I'll just give the design here. Alright, so I'm going to give it this design here. See the way I turn here, give it this design there. Continue like this. Do the same thing here. I'll turn this way, look at this design here, alright. I'll do like that for all the pockets. All the pockets, both the big ones, alright. So I'm going to stitch the big ones as well, like this, okay? So you can see even the big pocket, the same way I did the small pockets, the same way I did the big pockets, alright? You can see them, very fine and standard. You can see this. The next thing for us to do now is to attend to the sleeve, alright? So these sleeves already we hem them, alright? So just to match it and attach it. For us to do is to attach our sleeve, alright? So the notch area on the sleeve to the notch area on the shoulder, right? We attach our sleeve. Work on this. Turn this way. We'll finish up. So we're going to do the same thing on the second sleeve. So after joining the shoulder, the next thing for us to join the body. And we'll start from the sleeve. The sleeve round is 10, so this is 5. Just give it 10.5, 5 and a quarter. And the body, when we get to the body here, the body, our seam allowance is just 3/4 inch. Alright. So we just sew it using our seam allowance. We are good to go. Alright, so if you can see, this is where the band at the back is, alright. So this is the band is, look at the band here. So I'm going to sew and stop here. So I'll show you how to do the side pocket, alright. So I'm going to sew and stop here. So from here, I'll open it from here at about 6.5 inches here. I won't stitch it. Okay. Then I'll come and continue here. 7 inches, 6.5 is fine. Continue from here to the end. Now I'm going to teach you how to do that side pocket. All right. So I'll do the same thing on the second side. All right. So for us to get the neck, we'll simply measure the neck and cut it. All right. So I'm folding by 2, so that I'll measure it and cut it. So simply we'll measure like this. All right. And what are we having here? We're having 9. Okay. So the neck is 9. That is 18. All right. So since the neck measurement is, we measure the neck and we have 9. All right. I cut this to be 6.5 inches wide by 18.5. But that 9 we got, that is what? That is 18. So for this cam collar we are cutting now, for that neck, this cam collar will minus 2 inches from that 18 we got. All right. So as to give it that notch lapel effect. All right. So if we minus 2 inches from 18, we have 16. So it means we are going to cut a cam collar of what? Length of 16. All right. So if we're looking for 16, then we can actually use 17. The 1 inch will serve as our hemming allowance. So wideness of 17 is okay. Length of 17 is okay. The next thing for us to do is to fold into what? Fold it into 4. You see, we folded, first of all, we closed it like this. We now fold it into, bend it this way so that we can cut out our neck. So this way, we'll simply measure here. What? Here 2 inches. This is 2 inches here. All right. And we'll come in here by 3.5 inches. Okay. The wideness here is going to be 2 inches. All right. We have 2 here, 3 here. And the next thing we're doing is simply to curve this like this. You see this? Simply curve it this way. All right. Mind you, we're looking at about 3 inches here. Okay. Okay. Let's use it this way so that's. We can get about 3 inches here. 3 inches. And this 3 inches will curve it here. Curve it here. All right. Let's cut it out. Cut it out this way. So this is our notch. This is our cam collar, right? I'm going to use. All right. You can see this. So simply we will go to the machine, stitch it here, and stitch it here, and turn over to the good side, and press it. Then we'll weave the down part. All right. So let's go. I'll close it here by having. So close it this side by having. And we'll turn it over. All right. Turn it over. You simply run a stitch here to hold it together. Then we'll go and weave it. We'll get the center of this neck here, and I'm going to mark the center point. All right, mark the center point like this. So this center point I mark, I'll keep it here to mark with the center, and then I'll keep it to actually overshadow this part of the main body to be a bit longer. Can you see? Overshadow it. This is for a reason. Okay, I'll show you when we get there. Then I'll stitch it. Hope you can see very well. So you can see now, very important. Look at the allowance remaining here. All right, this is just an allowance of 1.1 inch. Right, 1.25 inch. So we'll come to this side and measure that same allowance, 1.25 inch. Okay, this is here, 1.25 inch. All right, so we'll start this neck. The same allowance we have that side. That's where we'll start this neck at 1.25 inch. All right, 1.25 inch. It must be the same both sides. It should be the same. Remember I said when you are stitching, this up next to this should overlap the main body, all right? So now the next thing we are going to do is to close this, turn it this way, like this, I see, then we stitch it. Do the same thing on the second side, all right? On this second side here, we'll still turn from here, we'll still turn it on this notch here, and then we'll stitch it. Now, very importantly, let me show you something. You have to notch this here so that the neck will turn very well, okay? You have to notch this one here. And then we'll turn it out. Watch me carefully. Turn it out this way. Let me see this. Turn it out like this. Something with this side. Turn it out like this. Okay. Now let's run a stitch. We're going to run a stitch from here. I'll show you where this stitch, as far as this stitch will go, right? Come here like this. So this is a stitch we're using to close this neck with. Okay. So now we'll get here. Now, this is why I was saying that when you are stitching, this collar you are fixing should overlap the body of the dress, okay, of the wool coat, so that when you turn like this, it will overshadow the rough part and only the weaved part of the neck will be seen. Can you see this? See this all the way to the end. So it's important to have this stitch cut across here as well. All right. This is to make it look thin, all right? And that's all. So you can see the neck is all set, all right? It's all done and it's set, okay? The neck is ready. The next thing for us to do is to work on this side pockets here, all right? This side, I'm going to show you how to do this side pockets here, all right? So this is how you do it. For the side pocket here, mind you, the pocket is supposed to be this way, all right? So simply we are going to, first of all, press this here to get the ideal folding for it. You see this? The pocket is to be here. All right, but remember that this excess that we had on the rope here, this excess here, I cut it, so I'm going to use it here. I'll just keep it here this way, all right? So it will serve as a pocket opening, okay, just to add color, beauty to the pocket, okay? So I'll keep it to cross like this. Can you see? Pocket to the inside, all right? Hemming gum now to work with it here, all right? I use my hemming gum now to place here, okay? Shouldn't be too wide, just to hold it together, okay? So that I can go and stitch it. I'll place at the end of the pocket here, and I'll still place at the beginning point here. So I'm going to do this on both sides of the pocket, all right? I will comb it, I will hem it. I'll still hem it here. So I'll do this on both sides of the pocket, so that when I go to the machine to stitch it, the pocket won't move, all right? Can you see this? So that you can now pocket your hand. When I'm done, I'll wear this and you'll see actually. All right, so before we go to the machine to sew this, let me show you something. All right, we'll turn this this way, okay, so that now this allowance here, we need to hem this here so that it doesn't open. This here, we need to hem it. Hope you understand where I am hemming. We are hemming this, okay? This is the opening of the pocket, can you see? So we are hemming this one down here, okay? We are hemming so that when we turn it this way, all right, there shouldn't be opening here, okay? Thank you. We're supposed to sew it so that you can pocket your hand to the front, all right? So this is how we're going to stitch it from the back. Turn it this way, okay? We are not sewing this. Oh, please take note. We are not sewing this, all right? So you see we have stitched this properly. You can now put your hand in the pocket from here, all right? Let's do the second side. You hem this on 1 inch, 1¼ inch hemming allowance. We hem it at 1¼ inch hemming allowance. Just 1¼ inch. So continue from to this side here. It's supposed to be like this, okay? So fold it here, okay? We are considering 1¼ inch allowance, 1¼ inch. So guys, as far as this word coat is concerned, we are done with this class. Alright, let's see how it's looking. If we turn it inside here, we turn it inside in the neck here, we just use this hemming gun to hold this in place here, and that is all. That is all we are doing inside there. Do same on the second side as well. We still keep the gum here, and we simply hem this, all right, just like we did the other side, and that will be all. So even on the back vent here, we're going to cover this. Just hem it right there so that the vent will stick together, all right. Here's the vent behind. We'll hem it properly, okay? Okay, so that we have it this way, all right? So we are going to remove this pin and replace it with this button, all right? We'll do this on both sides, okay? Replace it with button. So we are done with this button. So the same thing applies to this side here. We'll remove this pin and replace it with a button, and that will be all for the button, all right? So you can see we have 2 buttons on both of them. So I'll wear it and we'll see how it looks like. So I'll wear it. Let's see how it is looking. And basically what is remaining on this is the buttons, all right? Just to fix the buttons, and that will be all. Just to fix the buttons, and that will be all. Now this is the side pocket. When you put your hand here, it locates the water pocket, all right? That's why you do it strategically, so that it is located at the area where the pocket is, okay? So that when you wear it and you pocket your hand, it goes right through into the pocket of your trouser, all right? I believe that is taken, and we are done with this. You can see from behind how it's looking. You see that? Look at where the belt is resting, okay? So I think with this, we've come to the end of this class, alright? Thank you so much.